Welcome back to the Bassmaster halftime show presented by Bass Cat Boats, where our desk may be crooked, but we are not. We are not. We're going to shoot it to you straight. A beautiful, beautiful moving day, as Tommy Sanders always calls it, on the Bassmaster Elite Series. Got to be inside the top 50 to keep your tournament alive. I'm joined by Davey Height and Kyle Jesse. Two great guys. Don't need to put titles near their names at all. I enjoy watching this footage with you guys, but let's get caught up on what has been going on the water this morning with our Yamaha midday report.
Here we go. Got Will Davis first on the Yamaha midday report, and Will Davis up in the crowd. You have to say there were 4 anglers yesterday that caught 20 pounds or more, all the way up the Kissimmee River, real close to as far as they could possibly go. In fact, I think 1 or 2 of the anglers were throwing literally to the line. But Will Davis having a great day yesterday. Today, much, much slower for him. I think that's the only fish that he has in his live well right now, the one you see right there.
Will Davis, a 2-time Bass Nation national champion, and also with all those accomplishments, people kind of forget his Elite Series victory. Took that Elite Series victory away from this guy, also a former Bass Nation national champion, the prodigy, Brandon Pollock.
Yeah, you know, when you see a group of anglers fishing together, Brandon, Will Davis, Greg DePalma, I mean, you see a group, and they're all elite anglers. There's no doubt they earned their way here. They are good fishermen, but I have to think deep down inside those other anglers are saying, I really wish Brandon Polinick was not here in this group back in the same cast we are. Obviously, he's done so much in the sport, still a young man, and, you know, if you look at the big picture, Brandon Polinick having a great tournament here.
A huge day yesterday. It's not often you hear this on stage, but he said it's about time. And I agree. De Palma's been around for a while, but 29 pounds, 12 ounces yesterday, Kyle Jesse.
Massive, massive stringer. We're going to take a look here in just a little bit at the top 10 heaviest bags here at at Lake Okeechobee, and that one made it. A little teaser. That one made it. 29 pounds, 12 ounces. Incredible day from Greg De Palma, and obviously it started off good this morning with a 5-pounder. So long ways to go to get to what he got to yesterday, but solid start.
Yeah. Solid start, I would say. I mean, and here's the weird thing. How often do you see somebody weigh 29-12 and, like, in every post video he did, he was frustrated he didn't get 30. I mean, anglers think about that stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was that close, and it's just it's a bucket list thing. You mean, you want to be able to say, I fished a Bassmaster Tournament Trail, I fished the Elite Series, and I caught 30 pounds. You know, because you're in the record books for a long time if you catch 30 plus.
Yeah. It doesn't pay anymore, but glory is. They can't put a price on glory. Kyle Jesse, one of the amazing things that happened yesterday with Greg De Palma, although he was frustrated that he did not hit the dirty 30 with 29 pounds, 12 ounces, he joins the top 10 biggest weights ever weighed in here on Lake Okeechobee. Single day.
Absolutely. We're going to take a look at that graphic right now, but, 29-12 was enough to get him inside the top 10. First and foremost, Ish Monroe, number 1, 34.5. 2012, and this is in the Elite era, so you're going to see all the way back to 2012. Number 2, Brandon.
Ish Monroe, remember that tournament? He literally blew the roof off of weigh-in. He weighed in his weight, and moments afterwards, the roof literally blew off. We had a storm roll through, so it's appropriate he's at the top.
And we were looking at pictures of that the other day. You told me you blew the roof off, and I didn't quite believe you. But moving down the list, number 2, Brandon Cobb, just 2 years ago, 32.15. Just a crazy day for him on a moving day. You know, kind of down a little lower early in the tournament, and then makes a big move with 32.12. Obviously, that is a game-changing bag. Down to number 3. Chris Lane, 31.3, 2012. Obviously, that was a year of massive bags. Ish Monroe, none heavier than that, of course, but Chris Lane, incredible day there. Number 4, Ott Defoe, 31.3, 2017. And then Ish Monroe again. You make the list twice. I mean, that is rock solid in the same year.
The B.A.S.
I mean, Ish Monroe, number 5, 30 pounds, 15 ounces. Number 6, Shaw Grigsby, 30 pounds, 7 ounces in 2012. Again, you just look at all the 30-pound bags that year in 2012. Really an amazing tournament there. Timmy Horton, number 7. That was in 2017. He had 30 pounds, 4 ounces. Tyler Rivette, just 2 years ago, obviously fishing not too far from where we're at here, 29.2. And then we're obviously going to make it down to Greg DePalma, who we've talked about a lot already, with a 29-12 yesterday. And then Tyler Avett again, 29-2 and 23. And then Bill Lowen, 29-1, also in 2023. Which poses the question, are we going to see another, are we going to see a 30-pound bag this week?
29 pounds, 12
My personal
ounces,
opinion, probably not.
29, 12, and
hey, real close yesterday.
Not very positive, Davey Hyde is a guy who's got to yell stuff while they hold him up. I sure hope we see a 30-pound bag, but that'll look at Greg DePalma. 29 pounds, 12 ounces, and of course we held them all up. 5 incredible fish and caught them right beside a group of anglers. We're going to get into that in a little bit. It happens very rarely on the, it happens successfully very rarely, but they have been the get-along gang, and it's easy to get along when you're all catching giant bags of fish. Greg DePalma, a Bassmaster Classic qualifier, and as he said on stage, it is about time.
Yeah, absolutely. A great day yesterday. And you're exactly right. When you got a group of fishermen gathered up like that, basically boat to boat, it's all fun and games when they're biting. But when they stop biting, then people start saying, you're throwing over here farther than you should have. And things will start going south. And then I think an angler or two will probably move away from there today before the end of the day.
And you look back, fishing in a crowd at Lake Okeechobee is not unusual, right? But to see it the way we saw it this morning, I had a picture in my head what that was going to look like, and it wasn't what we saw early this morning with the boats basically, quartering each other, casting to the same area. We're used to seeing, a vast area with, tons and tons of boats, and they fish around each other, and that's one thing, but certainly a different deal here this week.
Yeah, not a lot of room to move in that area. The get-along gang is getting along, but I'm hearing that a different wind today. So it's a little bit tougher to position your boat. And where they are fishing, is a very restricted area. We got a shot here of them from above, and you can see that whole area. How little... No, we do not have an aerial shot, but look, there's a great shot right now of Greg DePalma and Brandon Palnick, and both former Bass Nation national champions. But as you can see, that is a very restricted area, and you're right. When I thought in my head, I thought they're in, some little bay, and they got pads around them, and they are in the exact opposite. Last week we had a pro catching them along a chain link fence, and this week we got them along the riprap.
No, it's not surprising that they're in the river or somewhere around. With the lake falling like it is, current is a big factor. But the reason those fish are there is absolutely because of the current. But then a wind change and a few things change will be the reason those fish are there, and they're not biting. And I think that's what's going on today. Those anglers, DePalma and Palnick would still be there if they weren't seeing those fish with their electronics, but they're just not biting today because of the current change.
Things change, and I'm sure our anglers will continue to change, but we will not change certain things here. We got some great stuff coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with 3 up, 3 down, and all sorts of doings from On the Water.
The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. When the water calls, we have decisions to make. Figure out what works and what doesn't. Then move on to what's next. Knowledge is earned. It gives back. We live it. We know. Where innovation meets the water. Engineered for every condition. FXR Pro Fish, built to perform. Made to conquer.
What a time to be live. Humminbird's new Mega Live 2 forward-facing sonar is your front row seat to every epic catch, unfolding as it happens, with more clarity than ever before. Decipher between dinks and diamonds in the brush. Choose between 15 color palettes and 3 views. Zero in with enhanced bait tracking and marvel at all the jaw-dropping detail. New Mega Live 2. Next-gen clarity, next-level fun. Only with Humminbird.
This is insane. Woo! What?
The water demands power, and anglers seek a portable, efficient system built to take them further. That's where Newport delivers. Make long runs, reach untouched waters, and fish where others can't. Explore beyond the beaten path with confidence. Power your water, your way. Newport.
The new Buka brand 6-inch trick shad, designed by renowned swim bait creator Mike Buka, is proof that some baits just have a little extra magic. Thanks to Buka's experience and knowledge, the trick shad stands out as a value offering that has the look and action to attract big bites and the components to ensure you land them. Featuring must-add triple grip hooks, a replaceable tail, and swivel hook hangers, the 6-inch trick shad is available in 10 gorgeous colors.
The newest addition to the Basscat STS family is here. Introducing the Caracal STS, showcasing aggressive styling, paired with enhanced performance and a continued dedication to raising the bar. Measuring in at 20 feet 2 inches with an ultra-wide 96-inch beam and rated for a 250 to 300 horsepower engine, the Caracal STS boasts agility and speed and is finished with premium features to satisfy any angler. Basscat Boats. Feel the rush.
And now your action weather broadcast. We've got shifting weather conditions on the horizon. Expect high winds, scattered thunderstorms, cold fronts, and dense fog. It's a wild one out there.
Toyota trucks. Let's go places.
Welcome back into the Bassmaster halftime show, presented by Basscat Boats, here on the shores of legendary Lake Okeechobee, one of the most fabled fisheries in all of fishing. I mean, it is a bucket list destination. We say that about a lot of places we go, but this is truly one of those places that if you're a bass fisherman, at some point in your life, you want to fish Lake Okeechobee. And yesterday's weigh-in kind of proved why. I mean, 29 pounds, 12 ounces. That is a very special day for Greg DePalma. But in all tournaments, some stuff goes up and some stuff goes down. And Kyle Jesse, you're going to fill us in with 3 up, 3 down.
Let's get right into it, guys. Starting out with our first up, Trey McKinney. We talked about it last week, or at St. John's River. Uncharacteristically bad finish, something we rarely saw from Trey last year. But off to a really hot start here. 89th place finish at the St. John's River.
Wow. Inside
the top 10 on day one. Great start for Trey.
And he's fished clean. Hasn't spent any time in the penalty box this week. Way to go, Trey.
So far.
So, it is early. We did have one penalty box, though. Ben Milliken was in the penalty box today. Why he got put in the penalty box was because he went to move, and his camera guy, who we didn't have a marshal, the camera guy with him, was standing on the front deck. There's a rule that your marshal or person or observer that's in the boat with you has to have both their feet down in the cockpit, so nobody has an advantage. So he sat for 30 minutes and thought about that. So he admitted, I talked to him about it this morning, he was very cool about it. He was just like, hey, yeah, I didn't realize. And it's one of those many rules that, all of these rules are created for a reason, right, Davey?
Yep. They absolutely are. I mean, it's safety. It's boater safety. I mean, your passenger needs their feet in the floor of the boat. They don't need to be up on the front deck. And it happens to be in the rule. It happens to be in the rules.
All right, moving on. Up number 2, Stetson Blaylock. Another one of those guys we rarely see towards the bottom. Super, super consistent. Obviously, an incredibly versatile angler. Uncharacteristically bad finish at the St. John's River, 100th place. We saw him come into day 2 in 5th place, inside the top 10. Quick turnaround, but a great start for Stetson Blaylock here this week.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. I mean, you're not going to see him down in the 80s or the 90s very often at all. And I really think, with him and with Trey McKinney, if you were betting and you were doing fantasy fishing, you could really bet that they were going to be mad and they were going to rebound this week.
Absolutely.
I talked to him at takeoff this morning, and I guess I didn't realize you know, I mean, obviously he's focused on his finish more than we are. I've been out swimming with sharks and doing fun stuff like that in between the tournaments. But he like was genuinely, at this point in his career, you would think he doesn't feel pressure, but he was genuinely like, I needed it. Like, they feel that pressure already, just one event in.
Absolutely, yeah, it weighs on you quick. Let's move on to number 3, Paul Mueller. 97th place finish at the St. John's, a place that he had previously won at. You know that stings, but it makes it a little easier when you get to, you know, jump inside the top 10 4 days later. 7th place after day 1, and a great turnaround for Paul Mueller as well.
Yeah, you know, St. John's River is not his home water, but you're exactly right. I had the same word right there, stings. It has to sting because you feel like you know, I've kind of figured this place out at St. John's River. He finally got a victory. He fished there before, and then a 97th place finish. He's always got his wife and his son there with him. And when you come to the dock, hey, I've been there, done that. When you come to the dock and you don't have much in your live well at all, a place that you've won before, high expectations, it stings.
Absolutely.
Mueller's proved through his career, though, he is hot or cold. You know, he goes through these weird and there's times where he is lights out. That trip to Palatka, obviously, he got a win on Lake Lanier. I mean, a absolute menace at the Bass Nation before he even got here. But he goes through weird up and down. I mean, and he's had some steady seasons, but more of an up and down performer.
Absolutely. Let's jump to the negative. The down.
Womp, womp.
Dave, you already mentioned it. Today is moving day, so all of this is obviously subject to change. But down number 1, Gerald Swindle. You know, top 10 finish last week at the St. John's River. That's obviously the way you want to start out. But 85th after day 1. Just 8-8. But with that said, I mean, you go and catch a 15, 16-pound bag today, and you jump right back into the cut. So, I mean, we see it happen all the time here in Florida. Not unusual whatsoever, but going to need a solid day to jump back inside the cut today.
This is the key word. This is Florida, and there's a lot of ups and downs in Florida. I mean, I had them in my career. Actually, Gerald and I used to kid with one another how we'd be 90th place finish at maybe St. John's and then do well here or back and forth. I mean, it's just Florida, and it's so unpredictable. Like you say, you go out and have a 15-pound today, he goes right back up there and you know, certainly in the Classic hunt. It's early on, but everybody has that as the bar, the standard. You want to be in the Classic after you do this back-to-back Floridas.
Absolutely.
I have faith in G. He's going to be back in it today. Trust me.
No doubt.
Hang tight.
I mean, that's the difference. I mean, one big kicker bite. I mean, 8-8, you got some keeper bites. You catch a 6-pounder to mix in with that, and you're right back inside the cut. So moving to number 2, Mercer, this one's going to hurt for you. Your AOI pick, Seth Feider.
Oh, wow.
94th place after day 1, 13th.
What was I thinking?
13th at the St. John's River. A great finish for him there, but same for him. You know, when you're down there, you can still make a comeback. Dave, I know you're certainly hoping that for your progressive AOI.
I believe in Seth
So
Feider.
Tell us what you were thinking. I got to know.
What was I thinking? I mean, Seth Feider. I mean, who are you picking for AOI, Davey Height?
Not Seth Feider.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's great, man. Lay it on the line.
I said last week before the week started, my pick this year is Patrick Walters. I said it last week.
A guy who's never been out of the top 10 for Angler of the Year. A real risk taker, Davey Height.
And I do just want to mention that my pick, Kyle Welcher, is inside the top 10 right now on Bass Track, having himself a nice morning.
This is
just had to
in case
throw
nobody
that in
was paying
there.
attention.
Pick on
Just
Dave.
in case Dave
Speaking of that, you know, when his front row broke those records, I was in second place after the first time.
Oh, wow.
Nobody remembers that with me.
Well, I'm glad you brought it back up. The third down, Joey Cifuentes. We talked about it a lot last week. You know, great start to his season. You know, his sophomore season wasn't what he wanted, of course. But finished 23rd at the St. John's River, a great start. Yesterday didn't have a limit, 100th place. He's going to need a little bit bigger of a comeback today, but certainly not where you want to be after day 1.
The real victim in that, though, is not Joey Cifuentes. It is his daughter. I mean, had a big St. John's River. His daughter gave him a lucky bracelet that she made. I just made a little joke on stage and said, man, you could sell these to the Elite Series anglers. Well, she set up a booth here yesterday. No joke, and was literally selling them. Not as hot a commodity here this week than they were last week. So I'm voting for him to be in the up next week so we can move some of them bracelets.
Yeah, the value will go up significantly if he catches 30 pounds a day.
And I got to tell a story this morning. I was sitting there with Bo Browning before takeoff, and he asked me if I would go buy one of the bracelets so he could have it. And so far, that's paying out for him because now he's in 5th place on Bass Track, up to 13.8 with 4 fish, has a 6-pounder in the box, and maybe that's the key, is the bracelets. It could be.
If I'm Joey Cifuentes, I'm stealing that bracelet from Bo Brown. Give me that. You taking my daughter's bracelet. Whatever way. I mean, they're going to sell more bracelets if that continues on. So everybody get yourself one of those lucky bracelets because they worked out last week for the Cowboy. Now let's talk about something that we rarely see. Now for something completely different. I know if you tune into social media, all you see is negative stuff. But there's actually good things that happen in the fishing world, and we are watching it happen in front of our very eyes this week. The Get Along Gang. Tournament leaders sharing one area. We saw a little footage earlier and how packed in they are in that area. We've seen it happen. I mean, it seems that it's kind of like a fire. You know, it starts a little bit, and we're keeping warm by the fire. But sooner or later, them curtains catch, and the whole house goes down. That is generally how it ends. They cannibalize each other. But we've also seen 2011 Classic, Catawatchee. I mean, they kind of shared. It worked out good for KVD, obviously, in the end. But they all kind of did well. Davey Height, how rare is what we're seeing?
It's not as rare as you might think, but all 4 anglers catching the weight that they caught and all 4 anglers getting along, now that is rare. But as far as 4 anglers fishing beside one another and they found the same fish and they're having to share them, that happens often. But to be honest with you, all 4 of them getting along and all 4 of them coming in with 20-plus pound stringers, that's rare.
And not just getting along. Like, they all went out of their way on stage yesterday during weigh-in to be like, hey, man, we're really getting, I don't know if they were trying to convince themselves or the fans, but they were, Brandon said it, De Palma said it, several of them said, we're really working well together.
Will Davis Jr. and Greg De Palma weighed in back-to-back, so I guess they had a lot of time to sit back in the tanks and realize we're doing pretty good here. This is working out. But you're exactly right. How often do you see those guys get up on stage and think, I sure can't wait to get out there and fish amongst 4 other guys tomorrow? Exactly. But they were pumped up. I mean, they were genuinely excited about it, all getting along. Brandon Palaniuk made the comment about, the Bass Nation connection between them. Very special, and we'll see how it turns out today. Obviously a little slower, but they're gonna keep after it.
Davey, how you've been in that situation? Be honest. How bad are they? Like, they're getting along. I get it. On the outside, they're getting along. But on their head, are they not like, oh, if I had this little slice of heaven to myself, 100%. It would be lights out.
As each one pulled up there, obviously, I don't know which one was there first, but then there was number 2, then there was number 3. Hey, how you doing? And you're thinking to yourself, I wish he was not here. I wish and like I mentioned, when Brandon Palaniuk pulls up, oh, gosh, there's a guy that's won AOY a couple times. He's got about 6 B.A.S.S victories. Oh, yeah, come on in, friend. You hate to see that, I promise you.
And then to make matters worse, Shane Durant's pulls up right behind all of them.
Yes.
They got to deal with the photographers and all the media.
He might be worse than any of them pulling up. Nah, just kidding.
Well, if you remember, the first time we met Brandon Palaniuk was, of course, the 2011 Bassmaster Classic. He was the Bass Nation National Champion. And I remember he fished Lake Catawatchee, and that was a huge fog delay, 3-hour fog delays every single morning. And Palaniuk said he pulled up, and he said you couldn't see. You could hear motors, and you knew there was people around. He couldn't tell where he was. He just knew he was on the right spot, but he couldn't tell who was around him. He just knew people were around him. And then he heard someone say, is that a good one, Kevin? And he said, oh, I'm in a good spot for sure. That is a sure way to realize you are fishing in the right area. But it all comes down here in just a few minutes' time. After this break, we'll be back with former Elite Series angler Kyle Monty, Lake Okeechobee Super Stick, and a guy who I'm putting $5 on to beat you, Davey Height.
You want to double that?
Oh, wow.
She grew up fast. Will she remember these times and continue the tradition? You better believe it. Tell a new fish story with Garmin.
In
in a world where adventure meets innovation, where the thrill of the open water is met with the cutting edge of technology. Introducing the all-connected. Stay informed, stay in control, and command your dominance.
In the relentless pursuit of domination on the water, one name stands above the rest. TH Marine's Atlas Jackplate. The power behind champions since 2007. The driving force that propels you to victory. More winners choose Atlas. For the fisherman who demands the best, Atlas delivers. Because every move counts. More winners choose Atlas.
Professional angler Jason Christie knows the performance and feel of a reel in his hands is very important. And that's why he designed the new Spro JC Elite and JC Elite MG Baitcast reels to achieve both of those goals. The reels have 4 gear ratios for any technique, and the frame of each reel is the same size. So no matter which speed you use, they feel the same. 9 bearings, long casting, and loaded with power. Give the JC Elite and JC Elite MG a try this season.
It's definitely a lot colder today.
Man, I really need to make this cut. I need to make up points quick.
Positive mental attitude.
I hope they stay where I found them.
Are they even pulling water?
Too far. I hope nobody else.
Man, it's too windy.
The water's too high.
Avco, keeping you comfortable on the outside, no matter how you're feeling on the inside.
Introducing Live Ops from Nomad Design. Equipped with our all-new adjustable technology, allowing you to insert tungsten balls to unlock hundreds of rigging options. Control the action, control the sink rate, and increase your bait's visibility on forward-facing sonar. Dial in your own finesse approach and stand out from the rest with Live Ops.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
Our SV spool design is made with one thing in mind: casting control. Whether it is casting lightweight baits, skipping, pitching, or casting into the wind, the Tatula SV reels virtually eliminate backlashes when set properly. Now with our groundbreaking technology and innovations, backlashes can be a thing of the past.
Welcome back into the Bassmaster Halftime Show presented by Bass Cat Boats. And I am joined by Lake Okeechobee Super Stick and former Elite Series angler Kyle Monty. Joining me and Davey Hype, we're going to have a look at this incredible body of water and that very spot that we are looking at right now. That is a spot that you have intimate knowledge on, and you can give us kind of why are the fish there, and is this something you see holding out?
So what I've seen in the past with that area, Dave, just a couple weeks ago, that section of the river doesn't get as much current as the main section, and I feel like a lot of those fish pull in there to spawn.
Okay.
And over the last couple of weeks with the water falling and a couple other big tournaments going on, they've kind of been plucked out. But as it warms up, those fish gravitate towards the end of that canal where there is a little bit of current, and there's a lot of rock and shell where those guys are fishing for those fish to stage up on.
Yeah, so those fish, I heard only one angler say yesterday, I think it was Paul Nick, that he caught a fish that was post-spawn. So the big question of the week, when we found out 4 anglers are fishing there and they're fishing those same fish, will they reload? And the fact that a lot of those are pre-spawn fish, you wonder once they spawn, do they leave? So does that place, in the history, your history, knowing that, will they move back out and set up like where they caught them yesterday post-spawn, or most of those fish are pre-spawn, they spawn and then they leave?
From what I've seen in that section, I feel like a lot of those fish live in there. So what you're catching is what you're catching. I don't know if more fish are going to pull in and sustain those big bags like we're seeing. And with the guys splitting the fish up the way they are, it's going to be tough to maintain that 20-pound mark every single day in that area. So in my opinion, someone's going to have to change it up a little bit and do something different. One of those guys that are in the top, 5 in that area.
So I'm afraid that sounds like bad news if those are just resident fish. The likelihood of 100 pounds moving in there every day is not very good.
If one guy had it to himself, it would be different. But in this case, and what I'm noticing is a lot of times on that area, they don't like the sound of the trolling motor. They don't like the pinging, and these guys are starting to feel the effects of that. Whether they change later in the day and back off and just put their poles down, turn everything off, that'll be interesting to see.
So that's another thing. I mean, when you're getting along and when they're biting, all that's good. But then when they're not, you're trying to figure out what can we do to help them bite. And if one guy wants to leave his graph on so he can see where those fish are, and the other 3 say we need to turn it off, there's the pot just stirs more and more and more. One guy wants to leave his on so he can see those fish and make that perfect cast. 3 guys say, no, you need to turn your graph off, and then, that could be very interesting.
Yeah, in today's world, I think it would be hard to get 4 out of the 4 anglers to agree to turn all their electronics off.
It might be hard to get 4 out of 4 to agree on almost anything, to be honest with you. What flavor of ice cream do you want?
That's true.
Hey, I can say that because I was one, you were one,
That's
and
right.
we certainly agree on that.
And you're also going to deal with interference. I mean, electronic interference. When you have that many, the units are a lot higher powered than they ever were.
Yes.
And they mess with each other a lot more.
And we heard Polinick talking about that earlier today, getting some interference on his live imaging. And I think that's a big part of it, too. It's not a very wide area. It bounces off the rocks and stuff. So being boat to boat, it's going to be interesting to see who waits it out and who makes it work.
This body of water, one of the most fabled fisheries on Earth, water's low. And that is a new thing, because the last number of years, what we've heard is the water's high, and that's what's actually choking out the vegetation, the natural vegetation. Is what we're seeing here kind of a speed bump to a good thing?
Yes, absolutely. In the long run, the water levels coming down should help the lake grow that submerged vegetation back that we need to filter the water.
Yeah.
There's still vegetation out there, but it's not the type of vegetation that helps clean the water. And, I've seen this like at 8.9 feet before. So it's not really low, it's just getting lower.
Yeah.
And the places where guys have had success in the last 4 or 5 years are now, you can't access those areas. So I think in the long term, it will help the lake. But right now, these guys are faced with some challenging conditions, but you're still seeing the best fishermen on the planet go out there and execute and catch 29-pound bags.
So like I mentioned a minute ago, you're out there every day. These elite anglers have just been here for the 3 official days of practice, and then yesterday. What I have heard is a lot of these anglers say catching a lot of 10 and 11-inch fish. That's got to be a good sign also, right?
Yeah, and that's just a sign of the spawns we've had in the past. And honestly, man, those fish are always there. Those 10, 11-inchers are always there, but it's hard to judge the spawn based off of the small fish that are there right now.
Right.
I don't know if that's just, we have more access to those fish because there's less areas to fish, or if that, indicates that they are still spawning well.
Yeah, one thing, when water level's falling and it's coming out of vegetation, there's less cover, so it exposes those fish a lot. And then when that cover and that vegetation grows up and they raise that water level, it's a great thing, but then those fish have a lot of places to hide and hard to access. So it'll be a couple years, and then everything just kind of comes together. And I think we'll truly see weights like we saw in 2012 in just a few more years.
And that was a big thing that happened in 2012. The lake was a little bit higher, and then it got to that prime level to where it pulled all those fish to those reed lines, and it was everybody's field day that year. But we're headed in the right direction with getting the lake down, trying to get some grass planted, and Lake Okeechobee is still alive and well.
Good deal.
Great. You want to have a good time? Go fishing with Kyle Monty. But the one place that there is no cover is for Steve Bowman, our producer, and we're going to cast stuff at him in our casting clash. And I put my name on the line here, Kyle. Do not let me down. $5 to Davey Height.
So this isn't the first time I've challenged Davey Height in a competition of
I was unaware.
accuracy. And I don't know if you remember or not, we were at Terry Scroggins' house, and you were playing
he probably doesn't
cornhole
remember.
with Kevin Van Dam. and beating everybody. And me and Casey Ashley got up there, and you guys beat us as well. But I got a little redemption moment.
You wanna change that bet, Mercer?
No,
I had actually forgot about it, but I'm glad you remembered.
You beat him in
Mercer, you
cornhole.
still gonna
This is
bet $5?
casting. Your old retired adjective inserted there. Ain't got a chance against this young super stick from Lake Okeechobee. Set the mics down. Let's pick the rods up, and let's do this. Who's casting first?
That's his rod.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
You want me to go first? I'll let you pick. You're our guest.
All right, go first. I don't know what I got to beat.
Okay. Davey Hyde is going first.
So we stand beside this?
Yeah.
Right
there. Right there.
All right, no practice throws, all right?
Whoa, that
one
was
minute.
an intimidating practice throw.
Great listener.
Kyle, come on
count.
over here.
Officially.
Oh, wow.
All right, 3, you get
wow.
1
He
minute.
is really- he's
1 minute is
trash
the
talking
deal.
You did get a little practice
3,
in there.
2, 1, go.
Oh, wow.
Jitters.
That's where we're aiming, right?
I'm actually trying today. If I don't even hit it, it's not because of anything other than I didn't hit it.
We're a little short.
Got that wind.
Oh, boy.
20 seconds in.
Big is this?
The same one you had yesterday.
It's the jig's fault? It's the jig's fault? I'm hearing from the truck, you are terrible.
All right.
30 seconds in.
Horrible. You want to double that back? Let's do lunch.
I'll tell you what, I'll do lunch. Because I lost your lunch
20
I lost your
seconds.
lunch yesterday.
I know I'm supposed to buy you one today, but I'm not gonna because you're gonna lose.
Dang.
Wow.
I like Scott Martin's lose riding real
10,
better than I do this one. I can tell you that.
8,
Davey, hey, come
7,
on.
All right, I got to
6,
hit one. Let it be
5,
this one.
4,
Oh, wow.
It did
3,
hit on the way down.
2, 1. Official ruling. Did it hit on the way down?
Oh, my troubles.
It did not.
Felt
Bowman
so
says
far.
no.
Davey,
Bowman says no.
What were you doing?
I got nothing to worry about because you bet me 5. I told him I'd give him 10 if he lets me win.
I don't believe that.
So what happens if we tie?
What, if you both
Go
suck?
out there and have a fish off?
We're going to get you to wrestle a gator.
We'll throw cornhole for
There we go. There we go.
We'll have sudden death.
All right.
Cast off.
Kyle, are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2,
1 minute.
1, go.
Oh, boy.
Okay,
He
coming
came in hot. He came in hot.
Hit it.
I mean,
Make Bowman squirm. Hey, wait a minute. You can't. That's out of bounds. What are you doing?
He's going to
Are
lose
you
a stroke.
practicing?
Kyle, you need to hit it. The first 30 seconds, it's all on your, but
I don't
it's
blame you for
crucial.
trying to hit it hard because I hit it and not real hard, and then they didn't even count it. So it has to ring loud. Oh, that was
close. That was
real
that
close.
was incredibly close. Close as well. 30 seconds in.
Oh, well.
Oh, they hit it.
That hit?
No.
Nope.
I'm
I
telling
think
you, it's
that's
got
high.
to ring loud.
I think that's high.
Throw it harder.
We need instant replay.
Throw it harder, Kyle.
20 seconds left.
Throw it harder.
Come on, the pressure is on you. Do not screw this up,
I
Carl.
told you I offered him $10.
Do not screw this up.
Uh-oh.
Fall over.
Harder.
10,
10
9,
seconds. Calm.
8,
Just
7, 6,
Not a natural
5,
motion, is it? You
4,
never flip up in the air.
3, 2, 1.
well, look at you. Look.
Hey, 10 works.
You're both horrible.
bet.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Now you got a 30-second cast off between you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you both sucked equal.
Okay, so you go first on the cast.
Okay.
Hey, flipping and not pitching is a strategy too. I think Davey might have did that a little bit yesterday. All right, 3, 2.
Wait a minute. He already had 2 tries.
It was one. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
There we go. Harder, Kyle. If it hits Bowman, it needs to be worth it.
It's above my eyes.
I will.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, now you're getting there. You almost got the right amount of speed on there now.
How do you know?
Hey, you
10,
learn from success
9,
and failure.
8, 7, 6.
Here we go.
5, 4.
This is really the most
3,
horrible competition
2,
ever.
1.
What am I watching?
Hey, honestly, as a Lake Okeechobee guide, you don't flip and pitch up in the air 5 feet tall.
No.
Okay.
It's the height. The bell's too small. There's a backlash. Forward-facing sonar was turned on. There's a lot of excuses.
I'm not going to say anything about Mega Live 2 because you'll think I'm plugging my sponsors.
We don't have the bell.
When we get back to the desk.
All right, hold on. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll flip instead of pitch. How about that?
Isn't that gentlemanly of you?
All right. 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh, we're a little farther than we were yesterday. That's too far to flip.
You might get it on the fall.
Whoa.
It's getting close.
You two really might wrestle a gator.
Come on, guys.
I'm not just going to give you points, Davey. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
All right, here
4,
it is. Granddaddy
3,
champion.
2, 1.
Wow, this is unprecedented.
That's not a natural casting motion trying to hit something this high. I know why Greg Hackney didn't get one now. And I know also why I won. $10 goes farther than 5, Dave Mercer.
Oh, listen, you were way too proud a man. I know one thing about Davey Height.
No, I was
$10. You would never sell your soul for $10 like that.
He sold his for 10. I told you I was paying him 10 to let me win.
But he didn't because you didn't hit the bell.
Well, he had too much pride too. He let it be a tie.
Okay, we're going to have sudden death here right now.
Again?
The casting doesn't work for you two. On the count of 3, the first one to touch the bell. 1, 2, 3.
He disqualified. He took off a 4-3.
Davey Height, take your victories however you get them. We don't need any more people being disqualified here this week, okay? DQ should only be referred to when it comes to Dairy Queen.
All I know is I won because he was DQ'd.
How do you feel?
I feel a lot better knowing that Hackney didn't make it.
Hey, to be honest with you, I think he said you won. That's why you were DQ'd.
That's okay. That's all right.
I was praying one of you would hit the target. We'll be back in just a few minutes from the Bassmaster halftime show.
This is the Quick Cube.
Quick Cube.
The Quick Cube.
The Quick Cube. The durability is my favorite thing about the Quick Cubes. You can flip through them like a filing cabinet. The clear window on these, I know exactly what's in there.
I love this bag. I've got a bunch of them.
You know, if you want to squish them in a little bit, it's no big deal. That zipper is watertight, floats. I can just drop it right in the water, and then I can pull it right back out again, and it's totally dry on the inside.
The iconic chatterbait, now reimagined. Introducing the Tungsten Evo. Engineered for precision with improved tactical feedback, a signature underwater sound, and the most advanced features in the chatterbait blade jig family. It's crafted for those who demand the best.
Hell yeah.
Join the new era of bass fishing with the Tungsten Evo.
So we're not all professional anglers. We don't all compete on the biggest stage. But inside us all burns the same fire to be a champion. It's why you get out early, brave the toughest conditions, point the bow toward adventure, and put the hammer down. For whatever trophy or fish or memory you're chasing, count on a Mercury Pro XS outboard, engineered to deliver the speed and reliability you need to power the champion inside you.
New York State's world-class waterways are an angler's paradise. With vast coastlines, thousands of rivers and lakes, and hundreds of fish species, New York offers some of the best fishing in the world. Your next big catch is just a cast away. Whether you're looking to break records or just enjoy a day on the water, you'll find it's easy to love New York. Reel in your next great adventure when you plan your fishing getaway at iloveny.com.
Got your eye on a new Yamaha outboard? Then get to your dealer now for the New Year, New Reliability Sales Event. For a limited time, purchase a new Yamaha 30 to 450 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of Yamaha coverage protection free. Or earn up to $200 in dealer credit on eligible 2.5 to 25 horsepower models. With amazing offers like these, Yamaha's New Year, New Reliability Sales Event has never been a better value.
25 years as a touring professional, I have depended on Gamakatsu my entire career to produce the sharpest and the strongest hooks. Known as a power fisherman, but yet if you're going to survive as a tour level pro, finesse is becoming more and more popular, regardless if we go north or we go south. So when you're choosing a hook, choose Gamakatsu. They have one for every technique and every body of water that you fish on.
All the way from Japan, it's taco time!
He has a good sense for the fishing. 7 years old, I play the bass fishing video game. Video game, very easy to catch bass. Oh, real bass fishing very hard. He's a natural.
I'm a tournament fisherman, but I always smiley and happy because fishing is fun.
Welcome back into the Bassmaster Halftime Show presented by Bass Cat Boats. And we continue to keep our eye on the Big O, Lake Okeechobee, one of the most fabled fisheries on the planet. And that is the playing ground for the second stop of the 2025 Bassmaster Elite Series, the Champion Power Equipment Bassmaster Elite at Lake Okeechobee. And we got eyes on one of Florida's finest, the Berry, Florida, John Cox on the water, and everybody wants him to battle into the top 10. We saw him last week on the St. Johns River. Well, little birdie told me we got a shot of him right now, and John Cox going to work. Everybody would love to see John Cox in our top 10 for the second week in a row, and that is why people come to Florida right now. We don't have audio on this clip, but Davey Height, it probably sounds like this.
Yeah, there's a reason the camera was rolling on him. He does not have one of our regular cameras on him today, but the marshal or his person that's in the boat with him knew something was probably about to happen, and you always feel like that when you're in the boat with John Cox, especially when you're in the state of Florida.
Yeah, shout out to Pat Renwick. He was the one that sent the catch in, serving as an ambassador, and like you guys said, this is exactly what you want to see from John Cox.
You see the way that rod is just surging.
Oh, yeah.
Not rushing it, though. A lot of people would be like, why aren't you trying to rip that fish through? What's he doing, Davey?
Well, what you've got is a mat. Ooh. Here we go. Yes, sir.
Wow. I mean, who says John Cox can't jump?
Mercer, do you care to say what that sounded like?
I don't. You told me who the marshal was, and now I realize we probably do have audio, but we're not playing it. That sounds like joy right there. When you put your fist in his jap, you know you are catching the right ones.
Definitely.
What an incredible fish. The world will be a happier place with John Cox in the cut. And the world is about to be a happier place because, yes, it is that time. Award-winning segment. The viewers are asking for it, and we got to deliver it. Once again, Bo Knows, joined by producer Steve Bowman. And what exactly does Bo know here today?
I know that John Cox's fish was bigger than 6 pounds that they said it was. So
well, that's.
I'm betting y'all that 10 on that right there. 6 or better.
Okay.
Better than 6. All right. But what I know, number one, is yesterday's leading weight, 29 pounds and 12 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Ranks 3. I know we only have 4 tournaments to deal with, but that's the third highest leading weight for a day one. The lowest was 2023 when Bernie led, and he had a 28.11. So the average leading weight for all those events has been 31 pounds. So
that's incredible.
You know, we actually do that. That's not outside of the range of what we're used to at Okeechobee. I also know that the average cut weight, which is a lot of what these guys are talking about today, the average cut weight at Okeechobee is 27 pounds and 8 ounces.
Wow.
And if you do the typical double and add 1, we're going to be at 25 for this event. But the most interesting thing, and y'all talked about it several times, the lowest cut weight for a tournament was in 2012, and that was 25.10 when Ish won with 108 pounds.
Yeah.
and we may be closer to that cut weight this time. So I don't know if 100 is doable or whatever. This is what I know and what probably everybody knows. The best fishing yesterday was between 9 a.m. and noon. We had...
So half the day, you've narrowed it down there.
Well, I mean, it's 3 hours. It's not half. That's a 10-hour day that we're counting.
Sorry.
Because you got first flight and last flight and everything. That counts for 10 hours. So, and it was like 43% of the fish caught yesterday were during those 3 hours.
Okay.
For that whole field, 102 boats. So, but what I also know, and this is number 4, you have to stay on your toes late in the day at Okeechobee. When you're looking for big fish, the hours between 1 and 4 account for 57% of the 3-pound plus fish that were weighed yesterday. So
that's a little surprising there. I knew that the early bite is overrated in the state of Florida, especially this time of the year, but I thought it was more like 10 to 12 or 10 to 1. But, you know, the last few hours of their fishing day, that's surprising to me.
The average weight of the fish caught between 9 and 1 was 1 pound and 12 ounces.
Very interesting. Great stuff. Bo knows. And it felt like that yesterday watching Davey. It did feel like during the wind. Steve Bowman, thank you very much.
You betcha.
You can go to the green room and tiftify yourself with
my latte.
He's got a latte going. But it did feel like that during weigh-in. It definitely felt like there was a lot going on in the afternoon. But breaking news right now, off the water, we got some footage. We're keeping our eye on the action. And I'm happy to see him delivering. What a comeback season he is having. A great start to things. Had a good event last week. Got a little cut ice cream, and I think he's going to get a little more cut ice cream this week. This happened moments ago with Brandon Palnick.
Come on, stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there. There's a whole school of them right there. Oh, come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here.
Look, God.
This hooked pretty good. Yes. How cool is that?
Oh, no, Frank.
Got Yuki Ito signature on it. Little prototype mega bass we've been working on. Finally got one of them to trigger. Like she just had the back hook. Just barely nipped it, but that front one swung around, got her. Yes. Gosh, we needed that bite. Nobody's around. There was probably 6 or 7 of them, about all the same size, just sitting there. And he kept chasing it. I know.
What a fish. What a fish. We're going to get back out to Palnick live. Man, that's a major move.
Oh, absolutely, and it looks like he's the only one still there. The other 3 anglers have already left.
It's happening.
Please stay on there. That is a big one. Oh, don't jump, don't jump. No, 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 no. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This thing is huge. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Please stay on there. Please. 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 Take your time, BP. No, 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 no. No, don't. Oh, don't. Come here. Come here, come here, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I know you're right there. Oh my gosh. This is a giant. This is a absolute giant. Come here. Come here. You're right there. You're right here. You're right here. Come on. Come on. Oh my gosh. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh my gosh.
Let's go, dude.
Dude! Look at that! Look at that thing! Woo! Oh my gosh! Oh. I'm shaking so bad. Oh my gosh. Oh my, look at my leg. Oh my gosh, look at that thing. What an absolute unit. Oh, gosh, that thing's gotta be pushing 10. How's that for a limit fish, huh? Oh. 9 1/4. That gives us 20.
And here?
Almost a freaking 10-pounder.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I mean, I'll steal his adjectives for that. That is an absolute freak fish. And it's starting to happen. Brandon Palnick putting it together.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about how long will these guys stay around, who will be the one with the most patience. It looks like they should all leave. Well, Brandon Palnick is the one with the most patience, and boy, is it paying off in a hurry for him.
I feel like I could feel that bite through my arms watching on camera, just locking it up. You mentioned it right off the jump with that first catch we showed, reeling it faster, and gosh, that gets me fired up.
Incredible. You see how he's shaking when he had the fish? Yeah. I mean, that's why people fish. Davey Height, predictions. What's
so my prediction was the only angler in the elite field on day 2 that catches over 22 pounds, not 29.
You are lying.
There's only going to be one, and that is Brandon Palnick.
You are lying. You are lying. If you see the graphic,
That's not what the graphic
your
says.
prediction was we will not see a bag over 22 pounds.
Other than Brandon Palnick.
When are you getting into politics exactly? I mean, you are ready.
Hey, one more thing on the bell, and I'll let Kyle go, but real quick. I think a sponsor plug is one ring, and if it's a prototype sponsor, you get
But
two rings.
he gave the brands. He gave the brand. So, I mean, it was a legit prototype. It wasn't just a rip-off, right?
Is there ever a legit prototype?
Is there ever a legit prediction?
There we go. They fixed the graphic there. I'm going to say my prediction. We're seeing a lot of moves on Bass Track. We've talked all week about the last 2 weeks in Florida. You see big jumps. I think somebody outside of the cut yesterday, sub 50, is going to jump inside the top 10 coming up today later on at weigh-in.
Great prediction. Great prediction. Well, I may just be trying to manifest this, but after what we just saw, I don't think I have to try very hard. We are in the great state of Florida, and my prediction is we will see a double-digit bass. I mean, we haven't seen one in Florida. We have not seen a double-digit bass in Florida, which is so shocking, so close. And, you know, Palnick, I thought he had it there, but I'm saying we will see a double-digit bass here during the weigh-in. And I'm not going to change my prediction because I am a man of my word, unlike my partner, Davey Height.
Well, I love that bell, by the way. We need one in the studio.
That's my dinner bell. I'm going to hear that ringing at the diner, and you are paying, my friend. But speaking of the dinner bell, it has been ringing for Brandon Palnick. Look at this fish right here. That is why you bass fish, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute freak for the prodigy.